Record. Okay, good morning. Thank you all for joining our series this morning. This is our Doing Business series, which is an opportunity for us to work and collaborate with our corporate partners. And today you have the opportunity of hearing from Oatey, and there is some amazing women who have joined us today to share about the organization. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will jump right in. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So let me go back. So just to highlight our Webeck ORV team, who you all may be familiar with. So we have our fearless leader, Lanice Smith, who is our president and CEO. And then my name is Dr. Kitiana Lowe. I'm the director of administration here at Webeck ORV. And then we also have our newest staff member, which is our chief operating officer, Frederica Singletary. And then we have our fractional CMO, which is Stephen Easley. If you've been to Catch the Wave, if you were at Catch the Wave a couple of weeks ago, you saw him and his amazing team, amazing marketing team and event planning team that we were working with. We have our certification arm. Our director of certification and outreach is Colleen Rudisill, and then our manager of certification is Robert Moore. And then we have our fractional CFO. We couldn't do it without our accounting team, Jackie Jordan, and then our corporate relations consultant is Byron Stallworth. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Erin Drotliff, who is the VP of Sourcing at Oatey. Erin.
All right. So thank you so much to everyone for joining us today. We're excited to walk through and give you some background about Oatey and our DE&I program. So first, we'll kick things off by introducing ourselves. If you want to skip to the next slide. Delethea, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Sure. So good morning, everyone. Again, thanks for joining our call and thanks for having us. I'm Delethea Smith. I am the Chief Human Resources Officer here at Oatey, and I've been with the organization for just about 6 years.
Hannah?
Yep. Hello, everyone. I'm Hannah Stice. I am the Human Resources and Diversity Specialist here at Oatey. I have been here for about 4 years.
All right, and my name is Erin Drotliff. I'm our Vice President of Sourcing, and I've been with Oatey for about 4.5 years.
And I am Vicki Collier. I'm a Senior Sourcing Manager with Oatey for the indirect side of the business, which is the maintenance, repair, and operations side. I have been with Oatey about 11 years.
Good morning. My name is Carrie Jenkins. I'm the Indirect Sourcing Manager. I report directly to Vicki, and I've been with Oatey for 21 years.
All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so here's a little bit of background about Oatey. So we are a plumbing manufacturer. We're 4th generation family owned. We're based out of Cleveland, Ohio. We have 30+ product categories, 8 different brands under one roof, and that continues to expand. And then we also have around 20,000 plumbing, HVAC, roofing, and additional products in our line. We move to the next one. To give some background on our purpose, so you'll see this on a lot of Oatey branding. We always like to include our purpose as to why Oatey exists. So our kind of one-liner is deliver quality, build trust, and improve lives. And then there's a short little clip here that I'm hoping will work. If you want to go ahead and click play on there. The sound is not working, so apologies. Let's see if we can get that to work.
Yep, give me 1 second. I think I wasn't aware there was a link in there, so I think I have to share with audio. So let me push that through one more time.
Since 1916, Oatey has provided reliable, high-quality products for the residential and commercial plumbing industries. Today, we operate a comprehensive manufacturing and distribution network to supply thousands of products for professional builders, contractors, engineers, and do-it-yourself consumers around the world. But more than 100 years ago, it all started with our first product, a lead roof flashing. After several decades spent establishing our business, Oatey stepped in to drill aircraft bolts to help the U.S. military during World War II. In 1958, we opened a headquarters and manufacturing facility on West 160th Street in Cleveland, where we still manufacture many of our products today. In 1963, Oatey Company first reached $1 million in sales. In 1972, we began manufacturing solvent cements, a product category in which we would go on to become the market leader. We diversified our business further in 1990 by acquiring Cherney Industries, a leading manufacturer of pipe plugs for the waterworks and plumbing industries. Just 2 years later, we established Oatey Canada and acquired Casper Drains, officially entering the international market. In 2002, we launched Oatey Supply Chain Services in North America, setting the stage for our robust distribution network across the continent. The next year, we acquired Dearborn Brass, establishing ourselves as a major manufacturer of brass and tubular products. In 2004, we opened our LEED certified distribution center in Cleveland, Ohio. Over the next couple of years, we added 2 more brands to our portfolio by acquiring both William H. Harvey and Hercules Chemical Company. The Hercules brand was instrumental in allowing Oatey to provide a full line of plumbing chemicals for the master plumber. As we celebrated our 100-year anniversary in 2016, we also celebrated the opening of our brand new LEED-certified customer support center in Cleveland. Our growth journey continued to skyrocket in the following years as we acquired Quick Drain USA, G.F. Thompson Company, Keeney Holdings, and Contact Industries. Quick Drain launched Oatey into the showroom market with a focus on the finish side of the business, while the Masters brand gave us a larger presence in the Canadian rough plumbing market. The acquisition of Keeney was the largest ever for Oatey, bringing injection molding capabilities for tubular products to U.S. soil. And finally, acquiring Contact Industries in Mexico allowed us to grow our supply network into Latin America and South America. In 2022, we launched LR Brands to expand our presence in showrooms, including the new 1916 collection, which positions us for continued growth in the showroom market. Today, Oatey is an advocate for the trades, using initiatives like our podcast and partnerships with local organizations to help lead the conversation and reach the next generation of plumbers. As we look ahead, we're committed to continuing to innovate, to meet the needs of our end users by building relationships with tradespeople, listening to the voice of the customer, and spending time in the field. After decades of exciting milestones, Oatey Company is still just getting started. We continue to grow, innovate, and evolve, never losing sight of why we're here: to deliver quality, build trust, and improve lives.
All right, so we can skip to the next slide. So something that is really the core of Oatey is certainly our values. A lot of people that work within the company would certainly agree that our culture and our beliefs are heavily focused on our values. So those are collaboration, integrity, respect, courage, leadership, and excellence. And then for our vision, we have 4 kind of focus points. So strong, dynamic, engaged, and inclusive. And again, I feel like this is really the core of who Oatey is and the culture within our organization. And then from here, I will hand it over to Delethea and Hannah to talk through our DE&I program.
All right, thank you, Erin. So we felt as though it was important to share with you our journey from a diversity, equity, and inclusion perspective, because although we've had inclusiveness and we've had empathy and diversity indirectly in our values and our purpose, values, and vision, we really wanted to have more intentionality around it and have more structure. So that happened in 2020 as a result of what happened with George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd. We said, okay, now it's time for us to be truly intentional, putting words on paper and putting all the actions into place to support all of our associates from an inclusion perspective and to ensure that everybody knows how valued they are within our organization. So we started again in 2020. We had a listening session. And then from that listening session, we understood how our associates were feeling. And we took that information in addition to what our core principles are. And we identified 5 pillars that would be part of our diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy. So when we look at human capital, we broke this out into talent as well as human capital management. And from a talent perspective, ensuring we have associates within the organization that reflect the communities in which we serve and that represent the broad range of all the dimensions of diversity. So we ensure that we tap into different talent pipelines to have representation from all aspects or all dimensions of diversity. With the human capital management lens, we ensure our HR policies and procedures are free from bias and they all have an equitable lens. So we want to ensure that when we look at things such as performance management or compensation, pay equity, things like that, we review those things to ensure there's not unintentional bias in our processes. We even go so far as to look at our job descriptions and ensure we're having inclusive language there. From an education perspective, when we look at organizational culture, as well as from a training and education perspective, one of the things that came out of our strategy is we have monthly inclusion forums. And we're very proud of this. We've been doing this for the last 4 years. Every month we have an inclusion forum with the sole purpose of informing and educating our associates on various topics from a DE&I perspective. So that could be bringing speakers in to talk about things that are race related or things such as housing or pay disparities, the LGBTQ community. Anything and everything related to diversity and inclusion, we've probably had a monthly education topic on it. And one of the reasons why we're so proud of this, not only because we've been doing this every month for the last 4 years, but because of the feedback that we get from our associates and saying, thank you for giving us this safe space for talking about topics that are either taboo or topics that you traditionally probably won't feel comfortable talking about in just your normal environment. And then lastly, from an external community standpoint, community and social responsibility, we are intentional with establishing partnerships and relationships with organizations such as WeBack to ensure that we have a broad lens of what our partners need and form that relationship so we can make good connections, whether it's from a talent perspective or bringing in diverse suppliers to help meet the needs that we have. And so many other objectives that that could be at the forefront at any moment in time. So that's our strategy. Those are the pillars that align with our strategy. And we've been going strong since 2020. And we will continue with this commitment as we move forward. With respect to our journey, I mentioned we started in 2020 with the intentional formal strategy. And every year we've made additional strides from where we started. So after we had our listening session, we identified and structured an advisory council and a steering committee. And the advisory council was representatives from all of our locations, from corporate, from our international locations, as well as from all of our manufacturing and distribution locations, came together so we could all brainstorm and collaborate on the different strategies and activities. The steering committee was made up of our leaders within the organization that were hand-selected to be a part of the steering committee to act as a governing body and to also ensure that the decisions that were, or the proposals that were made, we had a venue to talk about this before we went and put anything into action. The monthly inclusion forums, I spoke about that. We will continue to go strong with education and awareness focus. And then from 2021 and beyond, we really focused on launching associate resource groups. So we had, prior to 21, we had our emerging professionals group. So that's the young professionals. So that actually started before 2020. That is our longest standing group. But in 2021, we launched our Women's Resource Network. Last year, we launched a Black Professionals Network. And in the near future, we have things on the horizon, such as a LGBTQ group, a military group, veterans group, and potentially a Hispanic represented group. So we will continue to review, assess, and build our program because of the strong commitment that we have to DE&I. Hannah, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. As Deleithia mentioned, our inclusion forums are one of our most prominent and longstanding initiatives within our DE&I program. They're something I'm incredibly proud of. I partner with Deleithia Smith to identify our speakers and coordinate these events. Typically, we have about 120 to 150 associates join each month. It's completely voluntary, and I think that really just demonstrates how engaged and eager our associates are to learning and to growing. These are a very safe space. We encourage individuals to be curious, to ask questions, and to really just learn together. We've hosted 42 and counting since January of 2021. This month's focus is Hispanic Heritage Month, with that celebration beginning on the 15th. So really excited to delve into that topic and just kind of raise awareness about how to be inclusive, how to truly uplift and empower our Hispanic associates. And a few previous conversations that we've hosted include the refugee experience. This was a really meaningful conversation. We had a lot of our associates who are refugees speak about their personal experience. And I think that it really just put a face to what it means to be a refugee, building empathy, the value of reentry. So talking with Brandon Krasinski from Edwin's, which is a local restaurant that employs formerly incarcerated individuals. And so we talked a lot about the value of that second chance and building empathy around those who may have had some experience in the criminal justice system. Empathy in the diverse faces of homelessness. This again was a panel of individuals who had experienced homelessness, building empathy around what it means to be homeless, what it looks like, and how we can assist even our coworkers who may be experiencing homelessness. The trans experience, we had an individual talk about their experience coming out and coming into who they truly felt they were their whole life. And we've had many conversations also about disability, neurodiversity, and inclusion. Also, our resource groups. So Oatey has numerous associate resource groups, and each group has their unique focus. However, all groups provide professional, personal, and leadership development for all associates. Each group has a specific focus, such as Planeteers. They're focused on sustainability. They're more of an ESG focused group. They do a lot of beach cleanups, planting plants, trees in the community, and also kind of providing insight into how we can be a more environmentally conscious business as a whole. The EPG group has been around for quite a few years, and it is focused on emerging professionals, and it provides opportunities for leadership development through internal events, volunteer opportunities, and access to local professional development organizations such as Engage Cleveland. So this includes conferences, workshops, professional networking opportunities, etc. The Women's Resource Network provides Oatey with a strong community presence through our partnerships with the Girl Scouts and the House She Built, both of which encourage young women and girls to get involved in STEM and it provides Oatey women and allies with opportunities for learning, development, and collaboration. And our Black Professionals Alliance, our newest resource group, provides the organization and leadership with valuable insight and recommendations from our Black associates and their allies as to how we can foster an inclusive and culturally competent workplace. So all of these have a lot of community aspects to them, but also they really help to ensure that our organization is inclusive. And yeah, thank you. I'll hand it over to Vicki.
Hi, everyone.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Sorry. I thought I was taking this one, so go for it.
Go ahead, Erin.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. So our diversity program within sourcing is obviously focused on us being dedicated to fostering inclusive or an inclusive environment to allow for diverse businesses to be able to get business with Oatey. So our commitment is creating opportunities for minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned, LGBTQ-owned, and disabled-owned businesses. So our goal for our department is essentially to be able to include these suppliers as often as possible in the bidding process. And then in addition to that, our goal is to certainly build up our internal database so that whenever we do have opportunities pop up, that we're able to reach out to those suppliers and we already have somewhat of an established relationship. So our strategic goals in this area are to enhance innovation by having those different perspectives from diverse businesses, contribute to economic growth in the diverse communities, and then also to build long-term partnerships. So we listed 3 of the groups that we are recently a part of. So the memberships we've joined are OMSDC, WEBEC, ORV, and then MBDA. And then we can move to the next slide. So just a little bit more about our company in case you have any questions about, what areas would we be looking for suppliers. So in regards to what markets are served, so we focus on commercial, residential, and DIY. And then within that would be HVAC, roofing, electrical, pool and spa, and then obviously general plumbing. And then a lot of people actually don't know this about our company. I know some of it was mentioned in the earlier video, but we are a global company. There's a lot of locations across the US, but we also have some in Canada, Mexico, and China. And then potentially we might look at expanding further in Asia as well. And then we're also located in Europe, which is not updated on here, but those are some newer locations for Oatey.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the product categories that we focus on and sell into these markets are listed on the screen here. So we actually purchase a lot of raw materials, and then we also source quite a bit of finished goods. So we do work with a lot of local companies for finished goods and raw materials. And then as Vicki had stated, we focus a lot of our time on indirect spend as well. So maintenance, repair, and operations. And then obviously the kind of corporate type service categories. And then Vicki, I'll hand it over here.
Okay, great. And as you can tell, we're passionate. We'll all jump in and support. So for maintenance, repair, and operations, I just wanted to touch on some of the categories of spend that we engage. So factory supplies, things to keep our machinery running, to keep our production moving, transportation, things like that. The personal protection equipment, PPE supplies, so glasses, ear plugs, things like that as well. Services, janitorial, document shredding, anything you can think of that would keep the lights on, basically. So those are important services. We do have what we call capital projects. So annually we look at our budget and determine what assets we are going to purchase for the year or make improvements in our facilities. Some of those deal with remodeling the buildings, such as painting or taking down walls, putting up walls. plumbing, we use electricians, roofing companies, paving, cement, fixture installations such as new office furniture, lockers, things like that. Next slide, please. And we wanted absolutely to encourage you to do business with us. So we want mutual growth. We want our communities to be strong and work with our diverse suppliers. We want partnerships. We don't call our suppliers vendors. We call our suppliers partners. And we look for the opportunities for our partners to grow alongside us. So we have long-term contracts, some short-term contracts, and that's okay. You can go to the next one, please. Want to invite you again to take a look at our website. I know that we gave you quite a bit of information today, but if you access the www.oatey.com, you'll find there is a supplier registration process link at the bottom of the first page. And we would encourage you to apply on there. That is where we have our diverse supplier platform so that we can find you, as well as working with WeBEC and other organizations to encourage you to participate in proposals. So the information is here. Please jot it down. And with that, I'll turn it back to Erin.
Sure. So I guess we're open to any questions at this point. So feel free to start asking them.
Hi, my name is Fabia Polk. My business is Fund Degree Benefits, and an area that does get overlooked a lot in companies, and I've learned that attending the most recent conference with WeBank, is I had to educate a lot of suppliers that an area that's overlooked is employee benefits. And it's an area that minority spend can be easily meet your goals. And I'm trying to find a way that RFPs can be out for employee benefits. And how I've worked in the past is I've been able to partner with whoever the broker carrier is of the company, that it's dictated that a certain percentage of that product is given to a minority owned business. So even if it's a line of business product, if it's life insurance, it's disability, voluntary benefits, what have you. But that's an area that I'm interested in and seeing how that could be a partnership with what I've been seeing so far with the presentation.
So Talithia, I assume you'll speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could definitely have some conversations about that. As I'm sure you're aware, a lot of that is very cyclical. So we're actually in our open enrollment period right now and preparing for 1/1 new benefits year. We're on a calendar year. But I think at minimum, we should have a discussion as far as, you know, the lines of business that you're in, where there is a potential partnership with Oatey. And if there is anything that we can do from the standpoint of connections and relationship building, where we can assist you, even if it's outside of Oatey. So I would say, let's just have a conversation. I can't say yes or no as far as what we do when we open up from a partner perspective on the benefits front. But if nothing else, let's have a conversation to see what the services offered are, where there are opportunities, and how we can assist with making some connections as well. We're an Aetna organization, so our health benefits are with Aetna, but we have many different ancillary benefits where there may be some opportunities there for us.
So the big key that I've noticed is it's not more the carriers that I need to partner with, because whoever the entity broker is, that's the connection I need.
Yeah, for us, it would be directly with our team.
Okay.
We use a broker, but from a decision-making standpoint, the brokers bring the partners to us. So we work maybe a little bit different from some of the other organizations. Many times we bring and make introductions to broker or vice versa. But for us, for partnerships with us, it's going to be key for you to talk internally with our team, in addition to our broker as well.
Okay. So are you saying I just reach out to you and set up
Just email me. Yep, just email me and we can spend some time to again learn a little bit more about what your offering is, how we can make that connection, and then we could determine next steps from there.
I'm assuming it's in the chat, the contact.
I can send it.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Any other questions? Becky, I saw you just came off mute.
I just wanted to say it was a great presentation. You guys are really inspiring with everything that you're doing from a DEI perspective. If I lived up north, I'd be applying for a job with you, but I'm down in Cincinnati. So well done, everything. Well done with the presentation and well done as a company and continuing with these DEI efforts. I know some of the corporations are taking a step back or at least changing the verbiage. Instead of DEI, they're calling it E&I, right? And getting rid of the D word, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that feedback. I didn't realize all those hearts would pop up.
Oh, I know.
I thought it would just be one.
Better than teams. I kind of like
That's
it.
different from what it used to be.
Zoom has leveled up a little bit. Awesome. Anybody else have any other questions? All right. So
I'm
before
gonna
we
throw
let,
one more in.
yeah.
I'm gonna just throw.
Yep, go right ahead.
I'm a branding firm down in Cincinnati. I'll go ahead and get set up in your portal. Anything else I should be doing? You have a
We
great house of brands, right? Wow. Very
Yeah,
impressive.
so we can certainly put, Vicki and I and Carrie can put our emails in the chat as well. And if you'd like to reach out to us in addition to applying in there, that would be great.
Thank you.
Do you all mind sharing what your businesses are?
Becky, do you want to go ahead and go first and we'll just
Sure.
kind of pop
I'm
around?
Becky Nordlow. I'm the CEO of Desky. We're a branding firm in Cincinnati. We've been in business for 95 years, doing business with Fortune 500s all the way down for the not-for-profit. So we've been lately doing a lot of work with Cradle Cincinnati, Queens Village. And even though we're women owned, we've actually done some business in the hard goods industry. So we put DeWalt in that big, bright yellow box. That was many years ago. I was here at the time. And there's actually a Harvard Business Review white paper on us. So would love the chance. We've also worked with companies like Pro Impact that have so many brands. So we're here.
Perfect.
Thank you. And Debbie, do you want to go next?
Sure. Hi there. I'm Debbie Carpenter with Reach Partners. We're a management consulting firm, and we help businesses improve profitability with both technical and strategic solutions. And we also offer IT managed services. We're fully remote, but have offices in Columbus, Ohio, and Austin, Texas.
Awesome. And Babia?
Hi, my name is Fabia Polk, and my business is One Degree Benefits. I've been in business for 13 years. I'm not only licensed in Ohio, but I have 13 other licenses outside of Ohio to do business where I do have business in those other states like California on one side to New York on the other side. And I do provide the full suite of benefits from voluntary benefits to medical, dental, vision, disability. Some of my companies I have partnered with are municipalities and school districts such as the City of Hawaii, the Museum of Art, Museum of Schools. And thank you for this presentation. It was very helpful, and I'm amazed at all that you have done in the company. Some other companies, you're pretty much advanced in your D&I initiatives that you.
Perfect. Thank you. And Brianna, you're next on my screen.
Hi, I'm Brianna Snyder. My company's NAC Video and Photo, like we have a NAC for that. We do kind of full service photo and video production. Our sweet spot is sort of testimonial videos, like product highlights, events, anniversaries, that kind of thing, but kind of the full range of photo and video, executive portraits. We've done headshots for, 1,000 people in a factory, product shots, all of the above. We've done some kind of work in sort of the construction space, and products with that kind of thing. So yeah, but really full any kind of photo and video needs.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And Karina, you're next on my screen.
Hello, I am Karina Bailey. I am a regional director for Accliché Staffing. We have been in business for 56 years, women owned the whole time. And we do direct hire, we do project-based or logistical, any kind of staffing anyone needs all over Ohio.
Thank you. And last but not least, Annette.
Hi, Annette Kale, Greenfield Talent Solutions. I in business over 25 years in IT staffing here in Cleveland and across the country. Reason my camera's not on, the 25 years in staffing, and going to the gym this morning. I never know what's going to happen with Zoom, if they're going to show me or not show me. Anyways, so primarily have a great network here in the Cleveland area, but again, staffing has changed tremendously over the last 10 years. And so that means that we also can pull people from other parts of the country. So both if you need them to sit in a seat, we can do that. But also if you need remote, we can do that also.
Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else have any other questions before we begin our wrap up?
Hey, Brianna, where are you located?
We're based in Dayton, but we kind of go all over Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
And I guess I have one more question before we go.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Who handles indirect categories such as management consulting and technology? Which one of you?
So we can filter it through Vicki and Carrie, but ultimately the actual managers of those budgets are typically the ones handling it, but we can help get you in front of them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? All right. If you think of anything, you still have more time, so don't worry. So let me share my screen again, and we have a brief survey. So for those who are not on their phone, if you can pull out your phone, you can scan this QR code and complete our brief survey. We always are striving to be better and to get better. We can't do that without feedback from all of you. So I will keep this up on the screen for just a moment. If you happen to be on your phone, don't worry. You'll receive an email probably by tomorrow or Friday at the very latest. So either way, you'll receive an email. Like I said in the beginning, this call is being recorded. So we will have a link to our recording. You will also have a PDF of the presentation that was presented today. So you'll see everyone's contact information that was on kind of on their introductory slide, as well as their faces were on there as well. So if you remember what somebody looks like, maybe don't remember the name, you'll be able to put those two together. And then you'll also see a link to the survey as well. So it'll be a second opportunity for those who are not able to complete the survey right now, or perhaps you're listening to this on a recording after the meeting, you'll be able to take the survey at that time. And then the last thing that I like to always do is make sure that we highlight some of our upcoming events. For those who were just with us a couple of weeks ago, we had our 15th anniversary Catch the Wave, which is in Cincinnati. And oftentimes people think that once Catch the Wave ends that we're done, and we're not. So as you see, we have a very robust next couple of months before we hit the holiday season. We do have our Hey Sis, Let's Get Certified on September 17th, which is coming up next week. And so that is for non-certified WBEs of color who are interested in learning more about being certified. We're super excited about this particular Hey Sis because we are expanding outside of just our African-American WBEs, but we also have our Hispanic WBEs who are attending and participating in this session as well. And then also on September 25th, we'll have another series quite like this one with the Cincinnati State Technical and Community College. So it's one of our corporate partners, and we'll have the opportunity to learn more about what they do and how our WBEs can get connected to them. And then September 30th through October 4th is our WBE to WBE Connect Week. And so this is a really great opportunity for our WBEs in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton. Those three cities have been confirmed. It is an opportunity for you to get together, both certified and non-certified. So if you know some non-certified WBEs who are interested in getting to know more WBEs and learn more about WBEC ORV, this is going to be a great opportunity for them to do that. If you're not in those three cities, that's okay. We chose cities that are easy to get to, so you're welcome to join any of those locations, or if you're just feel real froggy, you can go ahead and come to all of them. That's a really great opportunity as well. And then as we start off in October, we'll have a couple more webinars, one on how to develop an effective capability statement. That capability statement, excuse me, is crucial and key, especially when you're working with our corporate partners or as you're providing information for financing and things like that. So we'll have a training on how to do that. And then October 10th, we also will have in Columbus, Ohio, will be a transportation event. And so we are working on gathering additional details for that. So all of our events you can always find on the WeBEC ORV website. If there is one that's coming up in October that you don't see yet, just give it about another day or two, and then you will see them all on there, because we are working fervently to get everything together. So that way we are able to fully market everything. If you're not already following us on social media, definitely do that as well. We have a huge presence on LinkedIn. It's probably the best place to find us on LinkedIn, and you can always find information about all of our events and everything that we are doing with WeBEC ORV there. Does anybody else have any other questions? All right. If not, I will say thank you all for joining. To our Oatey team, thank you all for coming and sharing, and all of your diligent work that you do with within your community, as well as with WeBEC ORV. And to our WBEs that joined, thank you for joining as well. And you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.